It's time to go around the NFL right here on the Kap and J Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. Greeny at 10, followed by Carmen Yurko at 12. Waddle and Sylvie 2:30 to 5:30, and the White Sox baseballs to take on the Blue Jays at 5:30. Kap is back from the bathroom, so now we go around the NFL. Here's Shay Norling. Shay?
All right, the 33rd team went through all 32 teams and did the win total predictions for each of them. Not going to take you through all 32, but I want to take you through some of the more interesting ones.
Why not?
We don't have time, Woody. All 32 teams, we'd lose the audience. As much as I know the people love football, we don't need to break down Carolina over under 4.5.
Oh, what do you think, Kap? Over under.
Honestly, I'm with them. I would also play the over on 4.5 for Carolina, but we'll move on.
5.
I want to start with the NFC North. Chicago Bears over under 8.5. This article says there might not be a more exciting NFC team than the Bears. The additions of Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DeAndre Swift will make the Bears must-see TV. But they play in a tough division and will face the NFC West and AFC South this year. Look for Chicago to be a borderline playoff team. Record prediction, 8-9.
Over? Right, Kap?
8-9.
Yeah, so the over 8.5, clearly.
33rd team's going under.
What are they, Paulie from South Beach or Palm Beach? Is he the one writing that column? He's on the under. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over. I've made that clear. That's a 10-win football team. I'm not expecting them to go 13-4, have the top seed in the NFC. I'm not doing any of that. But 10 wins. If they have decent health, that should be a 10-win football team.
Go ahead, Shay.
All right, the Lions over under, it's set at 10.5. 33rd team notes, obviously, a few plays from the Super Bowl. The expectation, Lions bringing a lot back, actually got better through the draft, but the schedule gets much more difficult. The prediction, 11-6. I said the other day I'd be more inclined to play under 10.5 than I would over 10.5, just because I think that they're a legit team. They're not going anywhere. But the change from being the hunter to the hunted is a very real thing in the NFL. And when you're getting everyone's best punch, I don't think you just come back and win 12 games again.
Okay, so I'll take the hook out of the equation, Kap, and just say 10 wins. So that would still be the under, correct?
I'd go over on the Lions. I think they're a really good football team. I do. I think that's a 12-win team this year. I just think they're really, really good.
No. Now that you're giving your thoughts, could you help me, as I just asked? 10.5, if I take the half out of the equation, it'd be under, right? Right at 10?
I'm telling you to take the over. Do not take the under. It's too good a team.
I would say that, yes, they are the class of the division. However, you always think about whether it's injuries or you lose a game that you're not expecting. They are still the class of the NFC North, but if I took them at 10 wins, that very well could still be one of the top teams in the North, even if you think the Bears are going to be there too. If you think that the Bears are a 10-win team, as I do right now, they will be neck and neck with Detroit.
Yeah, I think Detroit wins the division. I do. But I think the Bears, as you said, are going to be right there with them battling. Mm-hmm. I think Minnesota's the clear number 4 in the division. But there's no way I would bet Detroit under. 10.5, 10, there's no way I'd bet the under.
Just as like kind of a sidebar to this conversation, is 10 wins enough to win the North?
Brought to you by Aiken Law.
3126 million for the great Howard Aiken.
It's on my ball.
Think about the way this schedule's set up in this division, where all of the divisional games basically come Thanksgiving and later. It's tough to play everybody in that close of a collection of games. If the whole division goes 3-3 in the divisional games, is 10 wins enough to win the North?
Yes. Okay. So, Shay, at this point in time, if you think that the Lions are a 10-win team, do you think the Bears will be a 10-win team?
I predicted 10-7. 8-9 would surprise me. I think they're between 9 and 10 wins.
So as we stand here today, you believe Detroit and the Bears could have the same wins, right? 10-10?
Yeah, and to be clear, I think Detroit is a much better football team than the Bears. They're just also playing a much better schedule than the Bears, certainly outside of the division. And I think this division, honestly is as close as any in football in terms of the team's relative ability. They could all easily go 3-3, and then you're just looking at who wins the other 7 games, and they're non-divisional games. I think 10 could be enough. There's a world where 10 wins
Yes.
this division. Not because it's a bad division, but because it's so good.
Tough, yes. It's a tough division. All right, Shay, give us another one.
All right, the Packers, the over-under for the Packers is set at 10.5. I thought that was kind of a high number. And the 33rd team predicts 10-7 for the Green Bay Packers. That would be the under, and it's the only way I would look to play the Packers record.
I agree there. I don't know where Hoodie is on it, but I'm curious to find out because I am on the under on the Packers. And I think they got a good team. I'm not saying they're going to win 6 games, but I'm with Shay. That's a 9-8, 10-7 football team.
They could be 9-8 again. I just wonder about the growth of Jordan Love in that offense. Because what we saw was pretty good, kid.
Pretty good, kid. Exactly right. But they don't have what you would call a star-studded wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was watching something up here yesterday where they're saying they think they figured out the hamstring problems for Christian Watson.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be able to tell once they get through training camp if what they did worked. Maybe they can get Eloy Jimenez on the same program.
All right.
But I just don't think there's enough firepower there, enough star power in that wide receiver room.
I wonder what 2 of those 9 wins, Shay, be against the Bear. You still got to get over that hump. I'm just saying, you still got to get over that hump. The hope is that you're finally past that.
November 17, Hoodie. Mark it down. Bears beat Packers. Soldier Field.
I'm lower on the Packers than most. I still think they made a downgrade going from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was not good last year, and he's only getting older. And I'm sorry, the last time a running back was bad and then bounced back to really good again was when?
Adrian Peterson after he blew his ACL.
And Josh Jacobs is no Adrian Peterson, as good as he is.
This is true.
So I want to get a couple of the other interesting ones. Cappy, we made a bet earlier this week, I think, either this week or last week. I have the Titans going over 6.5. You have them going under 6.5. The 33rd team has them going over 6.5. Cap is buying me a bottle, according to the 33rd team.
We're going to find out. That's why they play the games, kid.
And the last one I wanted to get to, Hoodie, Jim Harbaugh in L.A. I feel like I've been driving the bus. We haven't done a lot on it of this team's going to be underwhelming this year. I don't think this is a quick flip that everybody expects because it's what Harbaugh's always done. They're in cap hell. They got rid of all of their wide receivers. They're going to be a power run team similar to what Michigan wanted to do, address the offensive line. This is a long building process. 33rd team has them at 7-10, would go well under the 8.5 win total.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll buy that. And by the way, for them, that's progress. From where they were with the 5-12 last year, underwhelming, just to be able to take another step. Now, here's the thing. With a quarterback I like in Justin Herbert, which I was wildly wrong about coming out of college, completely wrong about. I thought this guy here will not be able to get over the hump. We haven't seen his best football. I think he will be a better quarterback under Harbaugh, but not right away because it's about building blocks around him, Cap. That's what it comes down to.
Well, they're in a bit of a reset with Keenan plays for us, Mike Williams gone, Gerald Everett gone, Austin Eckler gone. But they do have a pretty darn good offensive line with Alt and Slater. Like, they'll be able to protect their quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to watch how that unfolds under Coach Harbaugh.
And that is Around the NFL right here on Kap and J Hood. And coming up, we talk about the NBA playoffs, but only under this premise. Have we become too harsh on young stars? Kap and J Hood, weekday morning, 7 to 10.